I want to ask this. Do you have any regrets of moving back to Africa?
No, because if you really, and I was saying it before, if you look at the metrics for black people in the UK,
yes.
If you look at our metrics, it's a sham, it's only a facade when they pretend that we're doing so well. And if you really had to challenge us to the quality of life, I've had times in Zambia where some of our investments didn't work out and we didn't have as much money as we thought we would have. Like, it was quite difficult, but it was so much nicer. Like, I've been poor here and I've been poor there. Here is better because you could live so much more. Like, even when that was happening, even when difficult situations come, it's much easier to manage here.
This is Kareem, a businessman. He was born in the UK and now he is in Zambia with no regrets.
So why not actually create places where people can do business, where people can work as much as they want or as little as they want and live the life of their choosing?
One of his businesses is this restaurant that he is working on right now.
So
they have you talking about jobs, but somebody's told you that that's what you should be asking for. And I don't know if it is.
If you are new on the channel, make sure to subscribe.
You said that you do not want to create employment.
Do you know what? It's not my plan, or where I'm aiming for is not employment. What you want is, you want to create a situation where people are their own bosses. You don't want a class of people who, oh, I'm the boss and you are my, like, what if even your cleaners? She can be contracted, have a cleaning company, clean what she wants to clean.
Amazing.
Even the guy who does your gardening, he can have his own company. Why does he have to have, oh, you know, I've given a gardener a job. I pay him $20 a month and aren't I doing well? This is something we learned from the colonizers, which doesn't make sense. Give the man what you would want for yourself. What would you want? You'd want it to be your business where you earn money and you dictate what you do. If you don't want to work there, you move on, you take your contract somewhere else. That's what you'd want, so why not give that to your brother? My name's Kareem Mohammed. I'm the CEO of Next Level Developments and the manager of Fishing Rod. Well, I was born in London in the 70s, and I was there right up until 2019. So about 40 odd years, about 45 years altogether.
So you were born there?
Yes, sir.
But you are here?
Yes, and I think, you know what it is? It's like, I was born there and it was fun. My family's there, I have children there, but there's a bit where you get to, and I think I got there about 14 years of age, where I just realized this was not our space. I never felt comfortable. Many of my friends and brothers and sisters may have felt comfortable, but I just did not feel comfortable. And it's been a journey from then to now to actually get into the space where I'm like, no, I've actually left the UK.
Amazing.
And I'm now in Africa. I'm here in Zambia.
So how's Zambia for you?
It's definitely a lesson. It takes time because we've been away, like my parents were from the Caribbean.
Yes.
So we've been away for like a really long time.
Yeah, a long time.
So it's not like Africa's not, the culture's different because Caribbean culture's changed over X amount of centuries.
Yes.
So when I went back to the Caribbean, I'm like, well, everything I know from my parents and life, it's here. And my cousins are there, I've got other members of family there. So that I kind of really felt at home with. But then what happens when you come, you realize, well, the natural resources, the minerals, the ability to really build isn't necessarily there. These are small islands, and their lands are very expensive. When foreign investment comes in, it takes up a lot of the best of the lands for these major hotels, and there's not a lot of space left. Whereas when you come to Africa, there is nothing but space. Zambia is 3 times bigger than the UK and only has a third or a quarter of the population.
I wish people can understand that.
So that just lets you know how much room there is in Zambia for us to work and grow. And my group was able to buy 3,000 acres of land, and then we're using that to make plans for how we'll go forward, how we'll live, how we'll farm. And here in Lusaka in town, we're building a new development here. It's going to take some time to get it all together and fund so we can buy everything. But in the short term, we took a long lease, 20 years, to actually get our feet in and make a hub for the diaspora here in Zambia. And I think Zambia has the least amount of culture shock, if I'm straight. However, I just feel like it's nice when you're here and you've got people who also came from the Caribbean, we've got people who came from the States. A lot of our experiences are similar, and it makes you more comfortable as you assimilate and get your feet and find where you've got to go. And we think here's a great place to start and move out into the rest of Africa, because it's not to come to Zambia and stay in Zambia.
Yes.
Zambia is uniquely positioned in the center of Africa, where you can go from here and be in 10 other countries in a really short space of time. Because you could live so much more, like even when that was happening, even when difficult situations come,
yes,
it's much easier to manage here. Much easier. You are so close to food that grows.
Yes.
When you're in these big cities, you might not even find it. I mean, people are getting better at building homesteads and stuff now, but it's almost like you've moved to a homestead. You're close to nature all the time. You can find natural honey, organic food. If you want to get to the source and actually produce for yourself, in Africa it's very easy to do, because you guys have never lost that real connection to the ground.
Yes.
Particularly since we've left the plantations of America and the Caribbean, we've started to lose that, till now we are almost like bereft of the knowledge of how to do for ourselves. Do you see, like growing your own food is something everybody should know how to do.
Exactly.
Do you see? And if you can provide your food, we were picking cotton for white folks for hundreds of years. Now all over Africa they're growing cotton, and we don't know how to make our own garments. And these are the things we've got to start addressing. And if we deal with it, it's not just small cultural improvements. It goes into agribusiness and the kind of funding and finance that you need to build a nation, you need to build a continent, but we give our best away and then we fight over the crumbs.
What are the businesses that you have here in Zambia?
What are the businesses I have here? Okay, so there's some real issues or real things that we started. And as I said to you before, my background is from the Nation of Islam under Minister Farrakhan.
Yeah.
So food, clothing, shelter, education, information. So when it comes to food, we have 2 farms. We've got one about 400 meters up that way. And then we have another one, the 3,000 acre space, which is about 2 hours outside of town. We're developing them. They're not in full flight yet, but we're developing them, and then we've got that land for that purpose. That's the food. You're standing in the building site of our soon to open Caribbean restaurant.
Oh.
Yeah, so, and again, it's about, like once you come to Africa, yes, but you come to Africa and it's like, okay, you can still get jerk chicken, still have curry mutton, still enjoy the flavors that you're used to, because this is what we're cooking when we're in England. This is what we're cooking in the States. So we can still do that.
Oh.
And then what it means, you get off the plane, you come, you connect with us, and we help anyone who's coming to get started. So,
you're helping people.
Yeah, that's literally what we do. I mean, some people come as members of the group, and other than that, they just come for help and advice, and we're always sharing. Because what we've learned over the last 5 years, it's not to be held. We were blessed to be shown to come here.
Yes.
So now it's a case of, all right, we're here, we share whatever we've been blessed with, we share with others. So you can, let me see, we're standing next to the swimming pool. This bit I'm most excited about.
Oh, you're excited about this?
Well, because it's hot.
Yeah.
And then we're not necessarily at the beach, but when you're out and you can have pool parties, reggae music playing in the background.
Yes.
The smells, we're gonna have like a really ornate grill over this side, another set of grills over that side. So when you can smell the jerk chicken, you can smell the stuff coming up. So this is like our phase 1. This is our main dining room and our kitchen block over there. And then we're gonna have like a children's playground on that side.
Were you not afraid to invest in Africa? The picture that is portrayed of Africa out there is not so good.
Do you know what? And it's like, when that picture's portrayed, it's portrayed for a reason. Am I not afraid to invest in Africa? Here's the question. Were the Caucasians afraid to invest in our mining, in our timber, and to build major farms? No, they were not. Why? Because they're making fabulous profits. So then in the midst of that environment, we go, oh, I don't want to go in there because blah, blah, blah. Is it difficult? Yes, it's not for the faint-hearted. To imagine that you come back to Africa and it's the land of milk and honey, I'm not selling that. The reality is, with planning, with strategy, with understanding, with love for one another, we can build whatever we want to build. So I'm more interested in overcoming problems than I am worried about, oh, is it this or it's that? And I think sometimes we're so selfish and self-centered, we don't understand that whatever difficulties you face today, people will benefit from tomorrow. So stand up and keep going. Like, we've had difficulties. We've had unscrupulous people do business with us.
Yes.
We just take that on the chin and go forth, because what, did we never have unscrupulous people in the UK? I had some guy come and say they were going to do paving for me in London some many moons ago, from the travelling community. They took £3,000 and we never saw them again. Like, unscrupulous people are the world over. But the reality of us returning to Africa and building and actually developing and making a change for us and those of our brothers and sisters that's here, that is a necessity that outweighs any personal difficulties or short-term losses.
What are we supposed to focus on to benefit from what we have here in Africa?
Again, just what's at your feet. The bit that I'm amazed since I came here about how much knowledge is here, how much land is here, how much access to minerals we do have. Even if multinational companies are doing what they're doing, there is so much left that the people have access to. And rather than complain about what we don't have, we could work very well with what we do have. And I think the diaspora is a key to come back, help invest, and we could really make something from that. That's what I'm here for. That's what we're going to keep doing until God takes me away.
People are saying that what diasporians have out there is a mirage, and they're saying that it's high time that they come back. Do you think that they are afraid of coming back to invest?
Do you know what it is? People are saying it's high time they come back, and maybe it's correct. The diaspora is saying it's high time these Africans do better over there, and perhaps they're correct. But the truth is the diaspora needs to prepare themselves to actually bring something to Africa, and Africa needs to prepare itself to actually host the return of your brothers and sisters, and not just in this mercenary way of give me money, take money and you sit where you sit, but real understanding of how we're going to come back together. And for me, those are the Africans I'm looking for. We don't need all of the diaspora. Marcus Garvey said those of us who are not doing anything over there, we're useless over there, we're probably going to be useless over here. So we need to start thinking about what we're going to bring. The Africa itself needs to think about what she needs and what she's going to do to entice those of her own family that were taken away to come back.
What's your advice to people who are doing business here in Africa? Do
you know what it is? It's like, treat people how you want to be treated, isn't it? So some of the deals that we've been working with, if you had to invest in somebody, you'd want them to be organized a certain way. So get yourself ready for that. Like, I've met some really good business people here, but I've also met people who are like, yeah, I've got a small business, and I'm like, okay, well, let's talk. What do you need? And they write on a napkin, give me $25,000. That's the business plan. So that's not, that kind of thing's not going to work. But there are others who are now getting more together, and some of what we offer here, I'll show you the office in a bit, is actually helping those small businesses to get packaged for development for themselves, but also so those of us from the diaspora can work with them.